Sleser suffered a stroke 2.5 years ago. His condition had worsened in recent weeks and he was taken off his life support machine earlier this week at a California hospital. The Oscar winner directed films such as Midnight Cowboy and Sunday Bloody Sunday and was noted as someone who tackled taboo subjects. Sleser once said he was only interested in one thing: tolerance. In Belgium, hundreds of Afghan refugees have started a hunger strike in protest at a decision to turn down their asylum requests. Their protest is being staged at a church in the capital, Brussels. The refugees say it's too dangerous for them to go back to Afghanistan and say they'll stay in the church until the Belgian authorities promise that they won't be sent home.
Frightened and bewildered. Until yesterday, these Afghan people were settled in communities across Belgium. Now they're barricading themselves inside a church, refusing to accept the government's decision that they must all go back to Afghanistan. The Red Cross has been offering comfort to those in distress. Some of these families have been living in Belgium for the past 6 years. They simply can't believe they're now being told they have to get out. With rising unemployment, immigration is a sensitive issue in Belgium, and the government feels few of these Afghans are genuine refugees.
There are people in Afghanistan who have a security problem, who have a problem of protection. And that's the reason why we give them protection in Belgium. But not all of these people are in need of protection, and we have to refuse them.
The Afghans swear they'll stay in this church for as long as it takes to be given permanent residency in Belgium. They may be in for a very long wait.
Australia's capital city forecast for tomorrow: fine in Canberra, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide and Darwin, becoming fine in Melbourne, mostly fine in Hobart and a few showers in Perth. There'll be more ABC News in an hour.
International Test cricket continues Sunday on ABC. Catch Australia taking on Bangladesh in the second Test live from Cairns. The visitors are warming to Australian soil, but can they handle the heat of far north Queensland? Australia versus Bangladesh. Second Test, Day 3, 9:55 a.m. Sunday, ABC. Between Henry and Elizabeth, there was Edward and Mary. Over 2 weeks, David Starkey presents another dramatic journey back to Tudor England.
His was the most extraordinary coronation in English history.
Edward, the boy king crowned at 9 and dead at 15.
Edward's power came directly from God.
And Mary, his brutal half-sister.
She condemned hundreds of Protestants to burn at the stake.
Dramatic tales of power, madness and family feuds.
Brother and sister would now have to fight it out at home.
Edward and Mary starts 7:30 Sunday, ABC.
Monday, Jane Turner and Gina Riley on Life as Kath and Kim.
She who types has the real power. Because you go, I think it's like that. Yes, anyway.
Can you give us a sneak preview?
Let's just say there's going to be a lot of eye candy.
A couple of horn bags.
A couple of horn bags,
some foxy morons.
Plus, a different side to Shadow Treasurer Mark Latham.
Do you ever, when Simon's out doing a press conference, duck into his office and try out the chair?
Enough Rope with Andrew Denton, 9:30 Monday.
Have you ever been married? I lived with someone for years, but what, didn't work out? He lied.
Dr. Ella Davis faces ethical dilemmas every day.
Pat, he abused Angela Brennan's trust. I don't know why you're defending him.
But when it gets personal, where does she turn?
Sometimes I wonder whether you're actually in the right place.
Sometimes I'm not.
All new MDA, 9:30 Wednesday, ABC.
Previously on The Bill.
I'm putting in for a transfer first thing tomorrow morning.
Good evening, Felicity Davey with ABC News. Authorities in the Solomon Islands have started the process of publicly destroying surrendered weapons. Australian Federal Police and troops took part. It was a demonstration to local warlords and militants that the new intervention force won't tolerate illegal arms. The weapons range from high-powered automatic military rifles to homemade guns and even a crossbow. The guns were cut in half by an Australian soldier using a high-speed rotary metal saw. The operation was watched by a crowd of about 100 locals.
What it shows to me is that Solomon Islanders want this force to be here. They want to act in partnership with us. They want to get these guns out of their society.
The weapons had been handed over in the last week to the Solomons Peace Council. The United States has let journalists view the bodies of Uday and Qusay Hussein in a further attempt to convince Iraqis that the sons of the former dictator really are dead. The small group allowed into the makeshift mortuary in Baghdad confirmed the identities of the bodies. The still photographs released yesterday had shown the men with severe wounds and the full beards that they were wearing at the time of their deaths. The video footage broadcast today was taken after mortuary workers had cleaned the bodies and tried to make them look like they did in the media images broadcast before the war.
It could still leave doubt in some Iraqis' minds about whether this really is their bodies or whether they've been cosmetically enhanced to make them look that way.
Despite that, the new images appear to have convinced many sceptical Iraqis that the brothers are in fact dead. In the latest skirmish between the federal government and the medical profession, the Australian Medical Association has called on the coalition to stop meddling in the administration of health services. The AMA says government interference is killing off the family GP, but the Federal Health Minister has hit back, saying the government is interested in more than just the income of doctors.
The AMA used a health expo as an occasion to make a song and dance about the value of family doctors.
We're gonna make a brand new start of it.
But the AMA says the shortage of GPs won't be solved until doctors feel they control the administration of their profession.
Get out of trying to tell us how to practice medicine. Let us be doctors, and you fund Medicare to a level that we can at least accept in the majority of cases.
Dr Glasson says GPs don't want the incentives and deals offered under the Medicare reform package. They want the government to return to its role as an insurance arm. But the government says it isn't interested in simply lining doctors' pockets, and there are more issues at stake.
I'm not just about doctors' salaries. My responsibility is to also ensure that we have more medical students, that we have more doctors, that we have more nurses.
The AMA believes family doctors are feeling devalued and demoralised by Medicare reforms, and there needs to be a cultural change.
Get out of your little Canberra offices and your little offices in the electorate. Go down and spend a bit of time with your doctor. See what your family doctor does. See what he or she actually contributes to the community.
Work hours, university places and indemnity issues will be discussed as part of Family Doctor Week. Jessica Shack, ABC News, Brisbane.
The Prime Minister turned 64 today, walking right past the milestone he once said would mark his retirement. Mr Howard is at the Bledisloe Cup tonight, but spent the day in quiet celebration.
When John Howard turned 64, there was a birthday greeting, but no bottle of wine.
I will spend it with my family and doing a bit of paperwork. I got a whole stack of cabinet papers to read. Then I go out to the football.
And from his Valentine...
Your ties and your socks.
Today was the day that John Howard marked 3 years ago as a use-by date for his political career.
One has to recognise I'll then be in my 63rd or 4th year, and you start to ask yourself, and that's fair enough, and nothing is forever.
Last month, he changed his mind, much to his deputy's disappointment. And this morning, Mr Howard was showing no signs of slowing down.
Good to see you. Hi. How are you? Good idea.
Mr Howard had a quiet birthday lunch. His daughter and future son-in-law shared in the celebrations. Even the opposition leader had a kind word.
I wish him a happy birthday, but I wished him that a couple of days ago, and I'll see him at the football tonight.
In Melbourne, unionists who've long wanted John Howard's head on a platter are preparing for what they call a non-birthday party tonight. It's as close as John Howard has ever gone to having a beer at the Trades Hall bar. But after 29 years in politics and at the
home invasion at Sydney's former Olympic Village.